Okay, so here I am sitting at the pool entrance, and in front of me I have an art pack which has all the same stuff in it as you have in yours. And what I'm going to do is take one of the still life units and do a wee drawing from it with the art pack, okay? Or some of the contents of the art pack, not the whole. So in the pack you have acrylic paint, pencil, fine liner, rubber, brushes, colour pencil and watercolour paint. At the back there should be some paper in the pack as well. I'm going to use this kind of cheaper paper here and this brown paper here, and what I'm going to do from the still life packs that I've handed out, I'm going to draw this picture of some cakes, okay, and I'm going to do it with the colour pencils and a regular pencil, okay. So that's what I'm going to make a wee film about just now, using my Steadicam, which is blue roll holder, which acts as my camera stand. Very exciting. Okay, watch this space. Okay, so in this picture we have 1, 2, 3 cakes, one with a nice slice through it, and what looks like the base of a teapot sitting just beside it. Okay, what I'm going to look at, instead of starting to draw the cakes, I'm going to draw the space around the cakes, and in order to show you that, I'm going to use the fine liner pen to show you basically how to simplify the space that you're going to draw. Okay, so you've got the cakes and the teapot, and then what you've got is the space around them, which is called the negative space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw some basic lines on. I'm not going to draw around the cakes, I'm just going to draw lines in the cake. So I'm going to draw a wee triangle there to the edge of the rectangle, and I'm going to draw a wee line coming down here, a wee triangle in there, a wee line coming down there, okay, and then I'm going to draw a wee line down there, and then a wee triangle coming up here, and then that's going all the way across there, and then a wee triangle going in there, right, and then there's another wee triangle in here, and a wee triangle in there, and a wee triangle in there. Okay, so what those lines are going to help me do is recognise the space around what I'm drawing, so that when I draw it onto my bit of paper, I'm drawing a similar kind of space onto that first to make my drawing. Alright, so I'm going to move my bit of paper into the picture now, and because I'm using colour pencils, I've decided what I'm going to do is use this brown paper and see how I go on with that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is try and get a shape of a rectangle that's roughly about the same shape as the picture, okay? So I'm thinking if I just put that there like that, put a wee line there and a wee line there, and then I can roughly gauge that there's going to be a line there, so I'm going to dot that hard. I can see that that goes up to there like that, and then I'll put a loose line across the way, and then down. And in the background you can hear one of the janitors whistling, which is quite nice, because it might remind you of being in school. How's it going? Aye, I'm filming this time as well, so just to keep me occupied, because I'm waiting for kids coming in. So. I know.
Do them well.
I know. So, haven't drawn them yet. That was the photograph you looked at, but my drawing is going to look as good as that photograph in a wee minute. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is think about the lines that I drew in. So I'm going to draw a line in here, like the line in the picture that I drew in, a wee line coming down, another wee line going up, and a wee triangle space down there, and a line coming up, and a line going back across, and another wee triangle space coming down here, a wee triangle in there, and then I think there was a wee triangle sitting roughly about here, and then another wee triangle down here. And what that's doing is effectively help me draw what's called the negative space in between the different bits of the picture, so the different cakes. Okay, so now that I've done this, what I'm going to do is pause for a wee second because there's a very heavy trundly wheel coming back this way, as you can probably hear, and then I'll start again. Okay, so basically we've just got a very basic outline of everything using straight lines. What I'm going to do now is start to add some of the curves in, right? So remember, they're cakes and they're round cakes, so what I'm going to do is look at this bottom line here and bring a curve off the side of that line, bring it across to the other side, and then basically what I notice is the cake tin at the bottom of it comes in here and there's a wee bit of icing going out there to the side, and it comes up and round and across like that. And then looking at where the icing sits on top of the pastry of the cake, and it comes along and round here. And as I say, at the moment what's happening is it's just a sketch, so it's not a final drawing. So I'm being quite loose with my line, just feeling my way around it, making sure it sits in the right place. And it comes up round here like that. Then there's a wee shadow for the centre where the cake goes up, because it's maybe got a strawberry sitting underneath the middle of that. I hope it does. Probably doesn't. It's probably full of that horrible creamy stuff. That's quite nice for one or two bits, but then after about 3 mouthfuls of it, it's just sickeningly sweet. Anyway, so I'm drawing in the wee dents of the pastry just a little bit. Going to kind of draw a wee bit more of the edge of the tin coming in as well. So I'm just looking and sketching and what I'm seeing, and those lines are giving me a nice wee guideline for that. Okay. Then I'm looking at the cake that's sitting behind it, and I'm going to sketch in loosely the side of that cake as well, and it's coming round and it meets that line there, and it's maybe a wee bit bigger, so I'm going to take it outside the line. Remember, these lines that I drawn are just guidelines, they're not exact. Okay, that comes in there, and the pastry edge is slightly further at the back away, and as it comes around the front it gets slightly thicker and wider, and it starts to go thin again at the back there, and then you've got the wee cherry sitting here, so I'm going to draw a diamond shape in for the cherry and then curve the edges in that. Okay, then I'm looking at this wee space here, and that's the space that's defined by the edge of the teapot, and then we've got our halved cake sitting here as well, so that's got kind of curvy bumps on it, so I'm going to draw those curvy bumps in. They're kind of the edge of the pastry pattern. Draw them coming in, and it comes round here, and it comes round the front, and then basically you've got the edge where it's cut going up here, so I'm going to draw a triangle shape in for that and detail that again in a wee minute. I'll take the curve of the top down here and along, down, across, round, and then the inside of the edge of the pastry comes round here and round to the front here as well, where it's cut, and we've got that curved point at the top of the cake as well. I think it's one of those pineapple fancy type cakes or something. I think they're proper minging, but people quite like them. Sort of thing my granny used to have years ago. It's a pure granny cake. Right, so there's the edge of that coming in now, and that's curving in there. And then we've got a wee bit of shadow and light in there. Then the teapot sits up here. It's sitting on a wee dowley, so it's got some wee patterny shapes in it. And it comes up here. So that's we got my basic sketch down. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just basically start going in and adding some more wee details. So I'm looking at the edge of the pastries pattern, the way it's kind of got these wee ribs in it, and I'm drawing them in loosely. Now, as I say, what I'm going to be doing is drawing into this with colour pencil, so what I'm doing is just planning with a normal pencil. I'm not going to add any shade into it at all, because I'm going to do all the shading through colour, because colour's applied to create tone, and it's not just colouring in, alright? Colouring in's not an art thing. It's a primary school thing maybe. Other subjects maybe use it to colour in maps like geography and that kind of thing, but art is about applying colour to create three-dimensional tone and shape to make what you're drawing look like the object that you're drawing. Okay, so that's what we expect you to do for your drawings and art. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm just going around and working in just wee bumps of pattern. Now it's not 100% accurate, some of it's a little bit stylised, but it's based on what I'm looking at. So it's based on some reality. There's a wee silver edge of that platter there. Now the lines I've used around that are quite hard. The lines that I'm going to use around the front part I'm going to make just a little bit thicker, because what I'm going to want to do is create the illusion of depth and distance. And to do that, what you need to do, for things that are slightly closer, you have to use slightly thicker lines, right? I'll make the detail just that bit more obvious, because basically that's what brings it to the front of the picture. If you think about when you look at something, if something's far away you can't see as much detail in it, but if someone's closer you're going to have more detail in it, and the lines are going to be slightly thicker because it's closer to you. Think about like fence posts, or if you're looking down a rail track. You know the sleepers are all the same size, but as they get further away they get smaller. Same with the fence post, and the same with what you're doing here. Things that are in the picture get smaller, lines get smaller as you go further back. Okay, so that's me got the edge of the front cake in there. I'm going to add a wee bit more of a line in here where I'm expecting to see some shadows coming in, which we'll do with the colour later on. And I'm bringing that bit of icing across here as well. Now, just go into this last cake here. These cakes are tarts. It's different, you know, people say some biscuits aren't biscuits, but cakes or tarts, cakes and tarts are the same thing, I don't know. Do they come from the same family of food stock? So cakes and tarts kind of are related. They're sort of things you would probably find in a bakery section, or in a baker's. But then you find bread in a baker's as well, and it's not a cake or a tart, it's bread. It's quite good in sandwiches, I always find. Anyway, so just adding some more pattern in here as we work it in. And that kind of pattern in that part of that wee cake there, the pineapple, is it a pineapple fancy? I don't know. It's more detailed, it's more defined, because it's got a much more defined crust on the edge of the pastry. Right, so there's the edge of that pastry there. Then the wee slice of cake comes down here like that. I've got a wee shadow sitting there at the front, and then a wee shadow at the side there as well. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is look at adding in some colour, I think, because I'm quite happy with that as a basic detail. I'm just going to draw in a wee shadow line here, a wee shadow line sitting there in the teapot, just to remind me where the shadows sit. Okay. There's a wee crease as well, and whatever the surface is that they're sitting on, it looks like something that's supposed to be like a, you know, a table cover. What do you call that? I don't know. I've lost the plot here. Right, so basically what I'm going to do now is look at my colours, right? So I'm going to get my colour pencils out. Right, so fine selection of colour pencils there. And what we're going to do is look at the colour in the pink part first of the French fancy, right? So it's that thing there. It's not a French fancy, whatever it is, a strawberry tart, right? So we're going to need this colour here because it's a kind of purpley pink colour. We're going to need red because it relates to pink, because it's part of the same family. If you add a bit of white to red, unsurprisingly it makes pink, but not all pinks are the same. You would say that that red and purple combined could make, with white, a pink that looks more like that pink. So we've talked about white quite a bit, so we're going to need white. We've got another pink here which gives us more range, so we're going to use that. What you have to think about is how colour works, right? So colour has opposite colours. There's a thing called the colour wheel which you should look up online, and you'll see that colours are opposite to each other. And red is opposite to green, so when you cross red and green together, they create shadow colours for each other. But when you look at the colour wheel as well, you'll see that colours are sitting next to each other, so you'd say that that's kind of a purpley red. So that kind of leans towards blue, right? Because blue and red make purple, right? We've got another purple one here as well, so that kind of has to join in the pattern here. We've got this other blue, so that needs to come in as well. The shadow colour that's opposite red is green, so we maybe need some of that in as well. You're not going to use any black to create any shadows, okay? So the shadowy parts that are in the French Fancy here, shadows here, we're going to have to think about how we create those shadows. As I'm looking at that, I'm also using my eyesight, which is the most powerful tool in this whole exercise, and I'm recognising there's a wee bit of orange sitting in there as well. So I'm going to use some orange, and then orange is like made up of red and yellow, so there's some yellowy, orangey colour. There's some yellow there as well, and some more yellow there as well. That's quite a mad looking yellow. And then we've got more greens, and we've got black here. So we're not going to use this at all because you're not allowed, right? So that goes over here, out the way. The pastries, I've got kind of yellows and browns and oranges, so we've got some browns and we've already got yellows and oranges over there. And this guy here's like kind of on his own, but we could probably put him in somewhere towards how the metal foil's in there, and maybe even use him as shadow colour. Plus I don't want to leave him on his own. Black can stay on its own because it's not getting used, and it's quite a hard colour, so it can look after itself. Right, so let's start off by thinking about what colours we can make, right? So I'm going to get these pinks here, and get that purple here, I'm going to get the red. I'm going to go for the recognisable colours first, right? And what I'm going to start doing is thinking about the edge of the curve at the top here, okay, and how that goes up. So I'm putting this kind of wee, kind of fleshy pink in first, just because it's quite a light pink, and I'm just working out how that's going to work. I'm then thinking about bringing some of this purple on over it, and that purple works really nicely as a shadow. Okay, so as I'm putting that purple in there, it's creating a kind of shadow colour that I quite like so far for what I'm looking at. But I'm going to add a wee bit of red into that as well, because I can see a wee bit of red in what I'm looking at. And as I've said before, when you're drawing, the most important tool that you've got is your eyesight, right? So when you're looking at what you're drawing,
Most of the kids collected these days.
2 seconds. Okie dokie, so in terms of the video, you'll be back here straight away, but I've just been blathering to people for about the last 10 minutes, because some people came in to get art stuff, and then some of the other teachers that were in down saying hello as well. So effectively what I was looking at was colour, and I was talking about how when you're looking, your eyes are the best tool that you have for seeing what you see, and what colours you should mix. So if you see a colour there, it's there, right? And don't just see it as being pink, because it's not just pink, it's pink that's got shadows in it. And shadows and light come from light, right? Obvious answer, right? But basically what happens with light, light's got a spectrum of colour through it. So when it hits a surface, it creates contrasts, and those contrasting colours will create shadows that relate to all the colours that are in the colour wheel, okay? And really dark shadows will possibly lean towards the opposite colour to create that contrast. So if it's really dark and contrasty, the likelihood is that what happens is it comes from the opposite colour that's creating the shadow on it. So what I'm looking at the back here, that wee shadow here that I'm drawing in, I'm going to basically take out the pencil drawing of it so that it doesn't darken it down too much, and I'm going to put this purple colour in over it. But what I'm also seeing there is a tinge of blue, okay? So when I put that bit of blue in there, what that's doing is creating the kind of shadow that I see, and that's exactly what you should do as well. Look for the colours of the shadows. Okay, so you're adding shadow with colour, and then what you do is you build up the colour that you're using back over it, and what that does is it helps to blend it in. The other thing that I'm doing with my pencil is I'm moving it in the direction that I can see the shape of the cake going in. Okay, so you build it up you're shading for shape. Okay. So the school's quite a busy wee place at the moment because we've got children in from kind of nursery age. I think the school's been treated as a wee bit of a hub, so it's quite exciting just to see other faces. Interesting for me because I've been stuck in the house mostly, and then coming in here every so often, so it's been getting busier, which is a good sign, I think. So as I was saying, like kind of you're building up your different tones and different colours. I put a wee bit of white in there because at the top of the cake it's starting to show a bit of reflection of light coming off the top. And I'm expecting when you see the colours, you'll see how that happens, but I'm also thinking about how the direction of the shape of the cake sits. So you can see how I'm moving my pencil, I'm curving it around according to how I'm looking at what I'm looking at as well. And I'm just building these different colours in. And as it comes to the top, because of the way the light's hitting it, the most of the light switch is going to sit at the top. Okie dokie, so as I say, I'm adding colour in, building it up, and as it comes to the top of the cake, I'm applying the tone of the colour to create the direction of the shape. And I'm applying it according to how the light hits the cake as well at the top. So you've got this really nice big patch of light sitting up here as well. So one of the things when you're drawing like this, you'll probably notice is it looks odd when you put big blobs of white and things, but as you build the colour up around things it starts to make more sense, and you've got to remember that when you're drawing. It's not just going to appear by magic like it looks, you've got to build it up. It's a gradual process. Okay, so when I'm applying these colours, I'm not colouring in, as I said. What I'm doing is I'm applying colours to create the tone of the object that I'm looking at, which is the cake. Or the tart, or whatever we decided it is. Trying to bring a wee bit more of my red in here as well. And as I say, this is all just through observation, it's just looking, and it's me making a judgment what colours I'm using, and I want you to do the same. Don't overthink it, don't assume that because of the colours I'm using you should be using exactly the same ones. Use the ones that you think you see, okay? And really push your thinking, okay? You see now what I'm doing is bringing a bit of orange in. And again, it's because of what I'm looking at, it's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a wee bit of orange in there. The more I look at this cake, the more colours I'm seeing jumping out of it. So the more colours I'm going to add. Now the other thing that I'm doing when I'm moving my pencil around is I'm thinking about the texture. Okay. The cake's icing is smooth, so when I put this texture on I want to create that kind of smooth texture as well. And one of the tools that I can use to help me do that is the white, because what that does is it really helps to blend the colours in. And it'll make some of the colours sit back, so you might need to keep pushing the colours back in. These are good pencils. Not all colour pencils work as well as this over paper. Sometimes you've really got to push it white because the pigment's quite weak. In these pencils I'm finding the pigment's quite strong, which is really good. So they make for really good drawings. So as I'm drawing, probably you notice as well as I go quiet every so often. That's just me concentrating. There's really nice colours in this. As much as I don't like the look of the cake to eat, and I know a lot of people do, I just had earlier on some these very young kids walking past, I think maybe like primary 1 or something like that, because they're up at the school, and they were looking at the cakes and I think they all wanted to eat them. In fact, I can hear them back in the distance again kicking the ball about, which you can probably hear as well. So this is quite useful for me because I know for you guys at home you might have all sorts of distractions going on in the background, so I've got all that going on in the background here as well. And when I'm at home drawing, I've got my wee girl, Isabella, crawling about the place, which can be a bit of a distraction because I have to make sure she's at that age now where she keeps crawling and trying to pick things up, and it's hard work but great fun. Anyway, so you can see the colours that are building into this now. It's really I'm starting to enjoy seeing how the colours are working together, and it's all just about blend and working it in. Okay, if you were just to decide that's pink and that's it, then your drawing's not going to look very interesting. You've got to try and create pinks that show that kind of tone and pull that tone out of the picture. So now I'm going to do something that I was talking about earlier on. I'm going to bring some green in, okay? Because what I want to do is create a shadow that sits at the front along the side of the icing. And I know it's not green, but the green creates the shadow, so I'm going to take a wee bit of orange over that green. I'm going to take the purpley pink colour back over it as well. As I said earlier on in the video, basically when you're creating contrasting colours, the colours that make the best shadows are the colours that are opposite. So adding that kind of green in there has made a really rich shadow at the side there. And I'm going to bring the pink in a wee bit richer, pinky purple colour, and a bit richer here at the edge. Because I can just see how that shadow's kind of sitting there. It's got a wee bit of red in it as well. So as I say, bring a wee bit of red in here for the edge, next to the kind of green colour that I did. I'm going to put a wee bit more green up there as well. The other thing I was saying is like getting that kind of thicker line just sitting at the front. It's obvious in the picture that I'm looking at that the shadows round at the front are just that wee bit heavier, the lines are a wee bit heavier around it. So I'm bringing that wee bit of a heavier line round into the picture as well. There's the icing going off the edge. And it comes round and joins up here. And I'll take my white back over that as well. And the purpley pink colour. And again, I'm using the pencil in such a way so it's quite smoothly blended in. And I'm just recognising different shadows in there as I draw. So again, it's just one step at a time, just thinking about what you're looking at, adding the shadows in as you see them, just keep building it up according to what you're looking at. I'm going to take the rubber in again a wee bit and just lift out some of that dark. And I'm going to take the pinky colour back in over there again as well. And I'll take the red colour back through that as well. And I'll take my white back through it as well. Okay, you can see how it's building up gradually. Add some more blue shadow, I think. Oh, that's green. Yeah, look what I'm doing. Okay, so that's the start of my pastry, I think. Quite happy with that so far. With all my icing there. Just blend that white back in again. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the actual pastry around the cake. So I've seen a lot of kind of orangey colour through it, so I'm going to take a baseline of orange through certain parts. And this has got a lot more kind of variation of colour in it, in terms of how the colour sits, so it's kind of a case of building it up. I'm just looking, so I've got some orange and brown. And again, for orange and brown, your shadow opposite for that is blue, okay? So I'm going to be using some of the blue in there for some of the sharper, darker shadows. I've definitely got a bit of yellow going on in there as well. There's definitely some white too. Okay, so it's just a case of building it up as you see it, okay? Okay, so you can see how much white I've used already in this drawing because my white's gone completely blunt. So I'm going to go and get a sharpener and just sharpen it in a wee second. You can see how that's blending into kind of look a bit more like that pastry. I think it's short crust pastry you have in these kind of cakes. It's kind of crumbly stuff. That's working quite nicely. Okay, back in 2 ticks. Okay, so I managed to get a pencil sharpener, borrowed one from this Rennie there, and I now have a sharp white again, which is a bonus. So, adding in the white there just to basically add in the tone to the pastry as well. Again, kind of like what I've been talking about throughout. You're drawing tone and colour, you're not drawing as colouring in, but you're looking at different tones. And you'll probably find out of all the pencils and the paints and then oil pastels, whatever you're using, you'll run out of white the most in these packs because you tend to go through more of that because it helps to blend in your tones quite a lot. Sometimes you can use paper to help. So if there's, for example, the brown in this paper, I could have probably drawn it a different way, but I used some of that colour to come through and help with the colour of the pastries as well. Oh, pencil's broken, so I'll just push the lid back in a wee bit. Put a bit of white down, I'm going into the yellow back over it again. just read the side of my pencil there and didn't realise, but I've just realised now, which is quite a good point to tell you. These are aquarelle pencils, and what that means is you can add water to them on your drawings, and they kind of work as a wee bit of a watercolour painting thing as well. So you can maybe give that a try. It's quite a nice way to kind of smooth things out and blend it. I'll maybe actually just try that a wee bit. Just wet my finger a wee bit. Yeah. So you can see how it kind of smooths in. It's quite a nice effect, I like that. Put a wee bit of water in the lid. And use my paintbrushes. I didn't realise I was going to be painting as well. How very exciting. So put a wee bit of water on the table, and then just brush in a wee bit. And what that does is it just kind of blends it a wee bit more, which is quite nice. And it adds to that kind of smoothness to the texture of the cake. So all those blends that you put down, you can then blend them in a wee bit smoother, and it might look just a wee bit nicer in your drawing. Particularly for that texture. And the good thing is, I can do that in this part, but I could leave the pastry as being a wee bit more textured. And once the wet dries in, you can then work back into it again with a pencil. So you can pick that out as well. And obviously the more water you add, the more it adds to the work. Okay, so we'll put that wee bit in there like that. I'm going to take some of that brown back in that I was using earlier on for the pastries, just because it's a really nice rich kind of brown colour. It works quite nicely for the wee slightly more burnt bits of the pastry's edge there. Or is it crust? Here we go again, I'm getting confused. A bit of yellow over that as well, just to make it sit back a bit. And a bit of white. Now sharpen that white again. And then we've got the edge of the pastry going into the tin foil. So what I'm going to do is use the dark blue to create that kind of edge. I'm going to take a bit more white over this top part here, because I think that was a lot whiter of the pastry, so I think I lost a wee bit of that when I put the water over it. But that's okay, it's part of learning and it's getting fixed, so always a bonus. Right, and then I'll take the brown over the pastry edge there next to the tin foil. And the tin foil I'm looking at, I'm just thinking when I was looking at it, it's white because it's got loads of light hitting it, so just use white. Don't try and make it silver, because you can't. White does the job because it is white, it's a reflective surface, and what reflective surfaces do is they reflect light, and light in its purest form is white. Okay, so just draw the white in. And the other surfaces around the white will make it stand out as being white, so that kind of purpley pink colour that's on the table that it's sitting on. I'll put that in. That's going to make that white edge stand out and make it look shiny. So it creates the illusion of a shiny surface. How exciting. So even that shiny surface, sorry, not shiny surface, even the red surface itself has got shadows and light hitting it. I'm going to put this base colour down just now. And I'm going to take white over it in parts and then leave other parts of it so that it's doing, as I said, having the shadows on it. So you can see how much the white takes a hammering. And there's some of the young people that are in the school coming back into the building, which is what the noise is in the background. So I'll put that kind of pink down there first and then put the white over it because it's a slightly stronger colour down at the front. What I'm going to do is do the opposite up the top here because it gets lighter as it goes to the top, so I'm putting the white down first instead. And then what I'll do is put a wee bit of that kind of purpley pink colour in there as well. And then a wee bit of the red again. Okie dokie. Okay, so my white has ran down once again, which is exciting. So effectively if you're watching a video about a person who sharpens a white pencil a lot at the moment. But again, you know, as I'm sitting doing it, I'm looking at the picture so far and I'm sort of seeing wee areas that I can criticise about it, and I think the way I'm critical about drawings, I'm not critical, so I'm thinking, oh, it's terrible, I'm going to have to give up, and that's the end of the story. It's more a case of I'm critical of aspects that I can change and will change. So for example, the top of the wee cake there was looking a wee bit flat, so I need to kind of maybe work some of the white tone into that to try and give it more shape. So I'm going to kind of put a curve around here and a curve around there and work that tone in a wee bit more just to make it look more like it's at the top rather than sinking in. And just that wee bit of tone there makes a wee difference. All of a sudden it just kind of looks more rounded. Okay, so I'll get back to some of this blending up here as well. So like, these are parts of the drawing that you will find that you'll probably be tempted to try and fill, but try and look at the picture, you know, try and find the tone and what you're looking at. If you look at the picture again, you know, just looking at that kind of tone at the top corner there that I'm doing at the moment, it is lighter up there than it is down there, so that's why I'm putting that extra effort in with the white up there. And there's a wee bit of shadow sitting in here. And again, what I've noticed is that that surface is kind of smooth because it's like fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the water and the paintbrush back over that again a wee bit as well, just to give it that kind of textured edge.
wish Mr. Kipling couldn't do as good as that.
Thank you very much.
The left-handed cakes then.
Was that?
See the left-handed cakes.
The left-handed cakes, aye. Absolutely. Always the best.
Only a right-handed.
Cool. So you can see what I'm getting there is a wee bit of texture coming in. So it's a wee bit smoother like the material that's on. And it might save me a wee bit more white, because I'm still going to need a bit of that white pencil left to do some more of this drawing. Or drawing and painting now. So this is opportunity to learn how to do a wee bit of mixed media work, because what mixed media means is when you're mixing two different styles together. So this is drawing and painting together. Okay. Right, so that's that blended in. Now I'm going to take a wee bit of the green and under here to create that shadow. Remember I was talking about how green creates the shadow for reddy pink colours, so hence the reason that I'm using that green in there as well, to create that shadow just sitting underneath the edge of that cake. And I've got green coming in here as well, because that's the space in between the cakes. So I'm going to take the red back over those areas. So that the shadow kind of belongs more to that kind of pinky shadow colour, and I'm going to definitely take a wee bit more water back over that as well. Okay, where's my brush? Comes up here and under there a wee bit as well, so just add that in, and then get some more of the white coming in up here, because remember there's a gap in between the cake and here, and then you've got that whitey pink bit coming up around here as well, and it's going up there, it's getting gradually lighter. I'm going to take the rubber in as well and lift some of that pencil out, if I can find the rubber. Here we go. And then take the reddy pink colour over it as well. And then take the paintbrush back over it. There we go. And that's kind of a nice texture there as well. Okay. So I just noticed again my cake, I just want to get a wee bit more light into that, and then I'm going to move on to the cake that's sitting just behind it, which is that one there. I want to get a wee bit more yellow into this part at the front. And I'm going to just take a wee break for a second to sharpen the pencil again, so I'm not boring you waiting for that to happen. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is work into the cake at the top, and it's more, I think it's like kind of one of those kind of horrible cakes I don't like a Bakewell or something like that, because it's got that kind of white icing with a red cherry on top, which usually means it's going to taste minging. Okay, so there's another few teachers just walked past here, and I think they might have thought I've lost the plot because I'm sitting here talking to myself. Which is always a bonus. So that kind of Battenberg, or not Battenberg, Bakewell kind of tart thing, as I say, it's got white icing, so it's pretty easy in that respect, but there is a wee bit of shadow in that as well, and the shadow I'm going to use in that is a wee bit of yellowy orange shadow, because that's the colours that I can see. And again, it's coming back to that point I was making earlier on, when you look at what you're looking at, you're seeing the shadows and the light relating to what your eyes see, so trust your eyes, okay? Your eyes will tell you the truth. That sounds really profound, but it's just the case of actually thinking about what you're drawing. The paper's actually making quite a nice kind of colour according to the colour of the background, so you could use that as well. This white is definitely telling me something, isn't it? So just building it up slowly, building it up slowly. And then a wee bit orange. And a wee bit of white back over that. And you've got a nice big line of light in the middle of that cherry. So I'm going to draw that in so that stays there, and then put some light over here and then some light over here. See you later.
See you later.
Cheers. Okay, so you've got the red of the cherry just sitting there, and then it's darker around the top, so then work the darker part in, and then darker down at the bottom here, and you've got a kind of mid-tone sitting across it as well, and I'm going to just darken that down and just take a wee bit more control over that edge and just make it a bit crisper. Maybe even take a wee bit of green into that to make that dark, just that wee bit darker. It's the colour opposite thing again, so it's green because it's the opposite to red. Okay, so building that back in, building that back up over it. Making that kind of richer on the side, add a wee bit of green through that as well. And then that kind of white coming across. This white pencil is a nightmare. Right, I'm going to pause. So surprise, surprise, once again the white pencil gave up the ghost, so I'm going to keep working it back in, and it'll probably keep breaking as well, but I'm just going to have to persevere. I've also noticed that that cherry's got a wee bit of a kind of orangey tint to it as well, so I'm going to bring some of that in. And a wee bit of pink sitting on the edge of the cherry as well, where it's maybe stained the icing a wee bit. And then bring the white back in again as well. And maybe what I'll do is bring a wee bit of the water back over it again just to smooth it in. And that'll do for the wee white bit in the middle just now. What I'm going to do now is get some of the icing, not the icing, the pastry. So putting this kind of brown colour in just around randomly. And take some of the orange in. You can just see I'm kind of just dotting the colour about, and then I'm going to take some of that kind of nice yellow in there as well, and I'm kind of just pasting it loosely in what I'm looking at. I'm thinking this bit's a bit lighter over this side and that's a wee bit darker down there. So what I'm going to do then is take the white in more heavily over this side for the blending, following the pattern of the cake, or the pastry rather. That's my second wee cake done. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to move away from cakes a wee bit. I'm going to do the side of the teapot, or the base of the teapot, and that helps me to kind of draw the background in just behind this tart and just pick out some of the details of the edge of the pastry there, because it's got a nice kind of crust on it. So I've got this kind of nice green colour which ties in really nicely. It's kind of greeny, turquoisey greeny colour, and it ties in really nicely with the colour of the actual teapot. But I'm going to blend a wee bit of blue through it as well, because I can see a wee bit of that sneaking in there. And where the shadow sits on it again, I'm going to use a little bit of orange just to create the added shadow. And what I'm doing when I'm adding this in is I'm thinking about the direction and the shape of what I'm drawing. So it's a teapot, so it's round. So the curves go round that way, and they go up that way. Some parts of it have got more light hitting it, so I'm going to take some white into it as well. You can see how that orange really helps to darken down the shadowed areas. Take the white back over that. That's creating a really nice colour as well. Just take that back over the greeny turquoisey colour back in. So we get that kind of nice rounded shape from that. Nice texture. And again, just a wee bit of water over it. And that helps a wee bit with the texture. So again, we've got kind of reddy shadow under here. There's a wee bit of white in there as well, I can see. So I'll draw that back in. Takes it to the edge of the cake, and then around this side there's much more white, because that's the wee doily thing that's sitting. And that draws the edge of the pastry here as well. And we've got some more dots of that kind of pinky reddy colour coming through. And I'll take a wee bit of white over them as well. So you can see it's quite quickly built up. And we've just got one cake left. I'm wanting to smooth out that teapot a wee bit more, so I'm going to just put a wee bit more water over it. Just notice there's a wee bit of the doily edge up there as well, so we'll just put that in. Okay, so on to my last cake, and once I've done that, that'll be this wee still life exercise done for today. Exciting times. So it's yellow and white, Good old white. Look at the size of the white pencil now. That's it, compared to another pencil. That's how much white I've used in this exercise so far, so you can see how much of a doing the white pencil's taken. So, I've got this kind of nice, acidic, horrible yellow colour, so I'm going to use some of that to start off with. Just draw the kind of curved edge of the cake. And I'm seeing greens coming into this quite a bit as well, and oranges. So again, it's just based on what I'm looking at and seeing from the shadows that I can see in the cake. And there's a kind of greeny shadow around the back here. So I'm going to put that in, and it comes down there. It's a kind of greeny orangey shadow around the front here. It's funny that you wouldn't necessarily think that you'll see two colours combining, like green and orange. You wouldn't necessarily see as making shadows together, but they do, because if you can see them, they're there. Again, it comes down to what I've been saying all along. If you can see the shadows in the picture of a certain colour, draw them in because they're there, okay? Your eyesight won't lie to you. You've got to learn how to use it properly and learn how to look. Okay, so I'm going to pause again because I'm going to sharpen my white. Okay, white's back in action again, probably for about 2 minutes until it snaps again, but well, let's see what happens. There she goes again. 1, 2, 3 back in the room. Okay, so white again. I'm going to push it a wee bit softer this time just to see if the lead lasts a wee bit longer. I'm also going to take that edge out because the edge of this cake is white. There's a lot of light in this as well. It's a shiny cake. It's almost like kind of plasticky looking icing on it. And that side's quite white as well, and we've got all that kind of white in the centre as well, so we need to get that in. So it's all that kind of mad, fluffy stuff inside the cake. Kind of fluffy cream that's like sugar and just basically probably rots your guts. But it tastes great, as I said, for about 2 minutes earlier on, and then after like another couple of bites it's just too sickly sweet. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that kind of shadows I'm seeing that are kind of purpley pink. Wee bits of blue in there as well. And I'm going to enrich that white a wee bit and make it more kind of orangey colour at the edge there. And then adding more yellow on the top here, and more of that crazy yellow. And a bit more yellow on that side as well. of white up there too. And it's just all blended in. So you can see, I mean, basically from what I'm doing with the drawing, you can see how I just keep adding more and more colour, and what it's doing is just basically making the colours richer and more interesting to look at. And that's all it is really, it's just that's what the drawing's about, it's just making what you're drawing stand out more, capture people's attention. Okay, so I'm going to take the paintbrush and I'm going to soften down the edges over on this side so that the front of the cake there stands out a bit more. And then finally we're going to work on that last bit of crust on this side. I can see lots of oranges coming through that. And again, what I'm doing when I'm putting the crust in, I'm thinking about the texture of what I'm drawing. So the way that I move the pencil kind of creates that kind of textured, crusty feel to it, because I'm kind of moving it in a crumbly way, rather than being too smooth at the moment. So I've got that kind of orange coming in. Take some of the yellow through it as well. This time I'm actually using the paper to come through a wee bit for some of the more shadowy parts, because it's actually quite a nice, rich kind of pastry colour for this one. And it works quite nicely together with that. And I'm going to take the rubber back and take out some of these kind of pencil edges. I'll take the weight back in as well. I just noticed I've got a wee bit of the tray sitting there as well. I'm going to take a wee bit of water over that as well. And just soften down these edges a wee bit. I'll take a wee bit of water over this and then I'm more or less finished. Okie dokie, so basically I think I'm more or less happy with the colours that I put in. What I'm going to do is just go back in my pencil and maybe just sharpen up a couple of edges on it, just to lift it back to where I want it to be. And it's nothing major, it's just like kind of adding in wee kind of crust lines here and there as well, just to add a wee bit to it. I could possibly just leave it as it is just now because I quite like it as a drawing. When you're doing your own, you know, it's up to you to decide when it's finished, and then show it to me, and then what I'll do is I'll say, well, maybe try this, maybe try that, or I might even just say, actually, yeah, I agree, it's finished. But the most important thing, I don't want to see colouring in. And I don't think you want to do colouring in either. I think you want to learn how to draw, which is why you maybe taking art in the first place. So when you are drawing, try and look for the colours, right? They won't jump out straight away, right? But you'll have to go back and then adjust them and think about what you're doing. Even as I draw this, as you can see, what I've done is I've taken the white back in because I've realised I maybe need to adjust a wee bit more in there as well. And that's what good drawing's about, is just taking your time, looking, thinking and adjusting and making it look the way you want it to look, okay? Or even getting it as close as you want as possible to how you want it to look. Sometimes you'll get it looking to a certain point and you want to take it further but you know it's good. Okay, there's two ways to go with that. You can either keep going and then it becomes even better, or you can keep going and then it ends up getting wrecked. Okay, and it's that kind of learning when to know when to stop is important, and that's something where I come in as well, so I can say to you, right, okay, that one's gone far enough, leave it, or this one needs pushed a bit further, go a bit harder on it, try a few more things. Okay, and that's probably the stage most of you will be at the moment, where I will push you a wee bit harder and try and get you to try a few more things, because if you do a good line drawing, you're scared to put tone in it, and you need to get past that. And if you like kind of get some colours down but some aren't quite there yet, but you're kind of okay with it, then you maybe need to think about pushing it a wee bit harder. But every drawing's different and your approach to it is different as well. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that. I'm going to take a photograph of it in a wee second, and that's going to be my final drawing for this particular piece. Okay, so that's me done one still life and one portrait so far from this particular unit of work. Okay, and I have to ask if you're keeping up with me. Have you managed one yet? If not, can you try and get it to me as soon as possible so that I can start marking them and telling you what to do to improve. Okay, because that's what I'm looking for at the moment, is just trying to get you to learn, just to take it a step at a time to improve and get yourself more confident in what you're doing. Okay, don't worry about final pieces of work or anything like that, or folio pieces just yet. Some of the stuff you might produce is folio worthy, other parts are just learning drawings. Okay, and that's the most important thing to remember. It's all about learning. Okay, all about learning how to draw better and enjoy drawing. Okay, I'm going to leave this one here now, and that's us. Alright, okay, take care, and I'll see you for the next drawing.